Do you want more power in your life? Do you not only want more power, but you want to make powerful decisions? Did I hear a yes? I thought so. Well, when you start making powerful decisions, your life just increases. As you grow in your personal development, you just start making bigger and bigger decisions. Hello, my name is Carol Feeley, and I am the High Performance Coach. Now, today we're going to talk about the power of decision. But before we dive into that, I want to share with you how I even became the High Performance Coach. You don't just wake up one day and say, I want to be a high performance coach. It took some work, it took some decisions, and it took some yeses. Everything started with a ring on my phone from Nancy. Hi, Nancy, how are you? Oh, Carol, guess what? I have been to this meeting. I love it. I want you to come. It's 7 a.m. next Tuesday. Can you come? Can you come? Nancy, that's during my work hours. I can't. Click. Nancy proceeded to call me 2 more times. She had me so curious. I thought, I got to go. I got to go to this meeting and see what it's all about. So here I am walking into the doors where everybody is so warm and welcoming. I felt like it was their lost long friend. They were so kind. I sat down, I listened to some speeches, and I was in the middle of a Toastmaster club. It was pretty exciting. And at the end of that meeting, I wanted to join. But remember, it was during my work hours. So I raced back to work and I tell my boss, oh my gosh, this meeting was so fun. I want to join. I'm telling her all the benefits it would be for me to join the Toastmaster Club. And she says to me, calm down and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Well, I never calmed down. I was so excited about joining. I even wrote her a letter and told her all the benefits it would be for me to join. So we had the meeting. She said yes, but there were some stipulations. I didn't care. I didn't care. I knew I wanted to join the club. So here I am, now a Toastmaster, and I'm doing my first speech. It's called Your Icebreaker, and you talk about yourself. Well, it didn't come out the way I practiced. I had more ums and periods. Well, maybe not, but it felt like that. But at the end, I heard the thunderous applause. Woo! It was exciting. So I became a Toastmaster. Now, what does that have to do with becoming a high performance coach? It was Toastmasters that helped me decide to do a workshop. I'm gonna pull up my PowerPoint. I want you to see that my very first workshop I did, I decided I was going to speak and I wanted to start coaching. And here is all the smiling faces. We called it Design Your Life, and I had Richard and Shiraj, my 2 main guys from Toastmaster, help me create it. And since I've been doing contests and things in Toastmasters, I rented a little meeting room in our Torrance Airport in our community. And lo and behold, I had 31 people there. And at the end of that workshop, I had 31 people there. I had 31 people there. And at the end of that workshop, 5 people came up to me and said, Carol, I want to coach with you. Boom! My business was birthed through just saying yes to Toastmasters and making that decision. Oh my gosh, so exciting. So what does a high performance coach do? I really help people really know who they are inside, and to have a better performance. So, and really getting aligned with what their inner potential is. I help, people that have a desire, they just know they want more for life. And I really help them, give them that support. And I really help shift their mindsets. And it's a work that I love to do. It's so exciting. Now, one thing I really help people do is become creators of their lives. People find their destination through my coaching, which is really fun. A lot of people have even changed careers because they got clear inside. And so there's a few things that we need to work on to really help us become more freer in our life. It doesn't sound like it, though, when you say discipline, determination, and overcoming your terror barrier. These are 3 areas that when you get these really accomplished in life, you will be free to be who you are. And that's what I love to do. Now, I want to tell you the most scariest decision I ever made. I was scrolling on Facebook one day, and my friend Brenda just made an announcement that she went skydiving. I said, if little Brenda can do it, big Carol can do it. So she empowered me to go skydiving. I grabbed a few friends, tried to find somebody to go with me. I found a few friends and we went skydiving. And I was the last one in the plane. So you know what that meant. Yep, I was the first one out. That plane was so rinky-dinky when we went up there. You heard everything and anything. And we were getting halfway up there. And he says, we're halfway there. I'm like, and I'm looking down, halfway. Oh my gosh. It was so far up there. I think like 13,000 feet. But here's a picture of me. I was really ready to go. I mean, she said, put your head back. And she says, you didn't even hesitate. You just went with it. And at that point, I was all in. And it was so fun. And when I got down to the end, which it didn't take that long, it was probably up there maybe a minute and a half, I just said I did it. And she was so cute, my instructor. She says, I know, I saw the whole thing. It was just so cute. But anyway, and I can now say that I am a skydiver. And it was just the only reason I did it was to break my fear. And that scary decision came about also through Toastmasters, as I was breaking my fear of doing those speeches. You just never know when you make a yes decision, how powerful it's going to be. Now, today, like I said, we're going to talk about the power of decision. And we're going to use the acronym POWER, P-O-W-E-R. And the first letter means P is for persistence. When you start developing that persistence muscle, and I believe it is a muscle, you just get better and better. Life can hand you something unfair. It's going to take something from you at some point. It does. But as you persist and find out that desire that you want in your life, it becomes an adventure. So what is persistence? A firm course of action in spite of difficulty. And the best way I have found for you to stay with persistence is to do something that you have a strong reason for. Have a strong reason, and that will keep you in the persistence game. Now, my friend, she was very persistent. She had cancer. She would take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, but she kept persisting. But her strong reason was because she had 3 boys that she was persisting for. So it's a strong reason that kept her in here in the game. So we all have to find our strong reason and so that we can persist. Now, I want to tell you one of my favorite verses that I stand on, and it's, truly I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed and you can move this mountain from here to there, it will be done for you, and nothing will be impossible for you. I love that verse because all we need is to step out with a little faith. We don't need a lot of faith. We just need a little faith. Little faith will help you persist and just go. Now, we got some rules to follow for our freedom, for our persistence. And here's some rules. Be clear on what you want, like we just talked about. Like, look at these guys. Are they clear on what they want? They are in tag of war, and they are in it to win it. As you can see, they're polling and they're polling and they're polling. That's how we have to be in persistence, pulling in what it is that we want. And the next one would be to make a committed decision. Committed decision, you can almost do anything with a committed decision. And be obsessed. Be obsessed in a healthy way, to really have it always at your forefront, your desire, what it is that you want. When you are obsessed and really take ownership of it, that is when you'll have it. And you got to plan. You got to plan. You got to follow the plan. So you got to make a plan. And then you have to see with eyes of faith, because you won't always see the results, but you have to believe inside your heart and see with eyes of faith it's going to come about. And you need to be in harmony with yourself. So important. If you're divided on what your desire is, it's not going to work. You got to be solely committed to that desire. And then you have to have bounce back ability. You're going to have some failures along the way. It's a given. But the failures are there for you, not to you, because that's going to help you grow further in life. And then forced repetition. Growth happens with repetition, doing things over and over again. Now, knowing can enjoy the achievement without passing the persistent test. It just doesn't work. So the more that you pass the persistent test, the more you will enjoy that freedom. Woohoo! And who doesn't want to be free, right? Okay, what's the next? Oh, and my guy here. I love Colonel Sanders because, he's just my role model. A thousand no's. And, he finally got his chicken recipe out. He got his, shops out. And of course, we know the story. He still has his buildings around and employing people. But he was, a persistent. Can you imagine? We cry when we have 10 no's. Can you imagine 1,000? Whoa. Whoa. Okay. O is for ownership. All right. You've got your new house. You've got the keys to your new house. You're going to put them in the door. You're going to open the door and say, I am so proud of myself that I now own a house. That's what ownership is like in your life. Take ownership of your life. Give yourself permission. When we were kids, we had to ask for permission for everything. I remember in school, I even had to ask permission to sharpen my pencil. And we kind of got in the habit of asking for permission. Now we just need to take ownership and give ourselves permission to do that desire that you want. And we have to listen to that self-talk. If you're divided in your self-talk with what you want, you're not going to get it. So that's why you got to be in harmony with that self-talk. Let me tell you about Gabby, my client. She came to me and she was really struggling with her voice. She was a people pleaser, wanted to please everybody, but she was pleasing everybody but herself. So we really worked on her inner game, and she developed some great habits, and she really found her voice. She became more confident. She became more strong. And today, I just had dinner with her, and a year later, she's still doing her habits, and she's about ready to embark on a new business, her own business. That is what you get when you are persistent at your goals and you take ownership. All right, next, stay in your lane. Be you. Everybody else is taken. Just be who you were created to be. And that is what I say is really important. When you go through that tunnel, don't look to the right or don't look to the left. Don't compare yourself with anybody. You are brilliant. You're amazing. And you have to know that. And don't do the comparison. And take a stand for what you believe. I want to talk about here my pastor, Pastor Greg Locke. When it was COVID, he decided he was not going to shut his doors. He got in the back of a truck in the parking lot on his flatbed and was preaching. And everybody's in their car honking, having a good time. And then he decided to build a tent. He had a tent built. And he didn't just have one tent built. He had 3 because he kept growing out of the tents. He has now one that seats 2,000 people. But he was on his tree 15 years ago, praying to God that his congregation would grow. It didn't happen for 15 years, but it happened. So that is what eyes of faith are. Stay in your lane. I want to kind of take you back to my childhood, because there's a purpose behind it. As I really think sometimes we have to think about what we did as a child. I was very brave as a child. I was a leader around the neighborhood. I organized the games. I didn't second guess myself. I was confident, but second grade is when everything changed. Everything changed for me because I am a pretty high energy girl, as you probably can figure this out. And I had trouble focusing in school. So they wanted me to go in this separate room with other kids that were struggling, and it devastated me. I felt alone and lost. Why am I separated from my friends? I felt unworthy, and I felt like I could never be with them. You see, I thought I was dumb. The school thought they were doing me a favor, but emotionally, it took me down a downward spiral, and I didn't make great decisions in my life. But now I'm making better decisions. But that's something that, our thoughts are so important. So I got to go back to what I was originally to be, is the leader, right? So go back into your own childhood, figure out where you were, because so you don't have to live in the unbelief or undoubt about yourself. So important to get your goals in life. All right. W is for a winning decision. Woo! Do you all like to win? Of course you do. Let me go ahead and just share with you some of the things that will help you win. Get in a mastermind. I'm in a couple masterminds, people that are really pressing for their goals, and it helps tremendously. I always just feel like I'm winning when I'm around them. Be cautious on your thoughts. Just be really aware of what you're telling yourself, that sometimes those thoughts just come in so subtle, those, negative thoughts. So you got to be really careful. Spend your money on you. Yeah, don't hold on to your money. Go out and spend it on you once in a while. You're worth it. And it makes you feel good. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That is really great. When you can get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That takes process, and that takes some going through those terror barriers. Get some winning habits in your health, in your morning routine. Those are all winning decisions. Be courageous even when it's hard. And for me, one of my superpowers is memorization. When I memorize things, I get them in my heart stronger, and it's really a superpower that I find helps me have a winning decision. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Every morning, I've done this now for 2 years, I get up for 2 minutes and smile at myself in the mirror. It gives me a positive outlook and also helps me with my focus. And I've often said, "Oh, haven't I done this enough?" I'm just kind of stuck to it, and because I know it's been working, really working. And of course, a winning decision is always serving others. And love yourself. Love yourself right where you are, on the way to wherever you're going. And these are all winning decisions. So W is for winning decisions. Daily make these decisions in your life. Now E is for excited. I'm excited. I love it. I love to say I'm excited because I get that energy up, and it's kind of like one of my favorite words. I just, it just helps me have the high vibe. So listen to this though. I'm going to tell you something that we're going to be excited about, but listen to this first. There we have 75,000 thoughts a day. 91% of those thoughts are identical to the day before that, and the day before that. That's why we're always staying in the same place, because they're automatic thoughts. We don't have to think about it. We just do it. But the brain likes us to think in familiar. It resists change. So it always wants to think in what is familiar. But here's the exciting news. You don't have to think in the familiar. You can work on your brain and start thinking about things that you want to do and get excited. Here's what I do. I spend 20 minutes at really just having quiet time of thinking about the person I intend to become and thinking about a couple goals that I want to achieve. And when you see it in your mind, you will see it in your hand. Try it, it works. And once every day after that 20 minutes of quietness, I just get excited all over again. So try it. It's really, really good. You will get excited. Because remember, we are what we think. Now, I'm still doing E is for excited. Life is an adventure. Think about this. David and Goliath. David, the little shepherd boy, took Goliath down. How did he do it? He believed. There were so many people that were afraid, but he took ownership and said, I can do it. I love that story. Joshua led the people to inherit the land. God told him, Joshua, you are going to enter the promised land. Did he do it without opposition? Absolutely not. But he believed and he pushed through and he did it. Sometimes we just have to start looking at our obstacles differently. When we have a different attitude towards life and we see differently our perception of life, that's when things get exciting. get exciting. Now, R is for radical. Ah, I love the word radical. I think you can kind of tell I like words. I made a radical decision 32 years ago. I accept Jesus in my heart. Woo! Now life has not been the same. I made a radical decision 9 years ago to join Toastmasters, and you heard that story. I made a radical decision 7 years ago to go on a mission trip to Kenya. That was scary. 4 flights later, 22 hours, but I did it. So fun. And I made a radical decision 1 month ago to join this group and do this speech. I'm so excited to be here. I love empowering people any way that I can do it. So what is your next radical decision? What do you need to persist on? What do you need to take ownership on? What is that? I want you to be thinking about that and really applying it to your life. You know, we have one life to live, and I say, go out there and just enjoy it and have a great adventure. Now, here is my information, and I have a gift for you. If you call me or you find me on Facebook, I have a free 2-session, and we're going to talk about the power of decision. And if you call me or text me or message me, there is my website. That is how you can get a hold of me. And I would love to empower you. Here is Tony Robbins. This is our very great quote. Your life changes the moment you make a new I don't know how to say that word. Oh my gosh. And committed decision, Tony Robbins. Okay, let me do it again. Your life changes the moment you make a new and congruent and committed decision. Tony Robbins. I think I said it right. All right. I'm not perfect by any means, but it's been a joy to be here. I want to say thank you. And until next time, woo-hoo, take care.